can. And what that means is when we can simulate what's happening in the Earth and the climate, we can use that to produce what you can just about make out on the right-hand picture is all of the potential storm tracks. So if we relate that to a tropical storm model, the big change is previously we could only generate storm tracks from things that we had observed in the past, and that's not a very long time. You know, a couple of hundred years of observed events. The difference is when we can simulate a lot of what goes on in the world and with our climate, we can create much larger sample sets. So in this example, 300 years of potential weather realizations, I guess you'd call it. So therefore we can generate more realistic storm tracks where we probably see much bigger events that we'd have seen potentially in the last couple of hundred years have observed. So very different times that we're in now, quite exciting times in terms of what we can do in terms of simulation. We're starting to be able to build simulations from simulations.
Nigel, what's the impact of having wrong geocoding results?
Well, that is, I guess you'd call that plain wrong. I mean, it's one thing to have partial geocoding. There's a degree of uncertainty. So let's say you've got a postcode instead of an address, then there would be a degree of uncertainty because that, you know, the true location could be in quite a large area and you don't actually know where it is. But if it's wrong, it literally is wrong. So if you have the wrong house number, then that is an error. Going back to my earlier point, you know, that could be a typo or when the policy was captured. And of course, relating that to risk, it means you either underestimate or overestimate the risk.
And I guess that would just continue to make everything wrong.
Yes, I mean, again, it depends. I mean, if you're getting the wrong address on a very small road, then the impact's probably not going to be that big. It depends on the hazard you're working. For flood, which is a very localized peril, then, you know, getting a wrong address can have quite a big impact because it relies so much on being very accurate. Whereas with a windstorm peril, gust speeds don't vary too much over a larger area, so the impacts